Okay, welcome back everybody to the Weiner Wellness Virtual Summit. This is the roundtable edition where we are going to play What's on That Label. So I have picked a few products that are hot sellers in the market. We're going to take a look at their labels and then we're going to compare them to what is quality. And I'm going to let Jamie Dorley, CEO of Nutritional Frontiers, he is a product expert. He does all the synergistic blends, picks the raw materials, and Joe Messino, who's been in the industry, well, a very, very long time.
A very, very long time.
Very.
So we're going to play a game show. You got to do it your best, Rod. Come on down, Joe Messino and Jamie Dorley, your next contestants on What's on That Label.
All right, so I'm going to screen share here. Here we go.
Joe, remember, you can always trade it in for what's in the magic box.
Yeah, I like the magic box.
Who doesn't love a magic box? You never know what's inside.
All right, so listen, once you go through the labels, you can pick curtain number one or curtain number two. You
got to make it bigger.
You got to make it a little bigger, okay? I mean,
all right, old guys, let me get there.
Old guys.
Make it bigger. All right.
Okay,
hey,
so this is an omega-3 fish oil. Jamie, I'll let you start. What do you see here?
There we go.
So,
all right.
when I look at this product, what I see one soft gel, that's the serving size, right?
Right.
And it's 1 gram of fat, which is 1,000 milligrams. And then they calling it fish oil concentrate. Okay. Mm-hmm. And of that fish oil, you have 500 EPA and 250 DHA. So not a bad formula overall when you look at the percentages of what's in there, right?
Yeah.
Because you got 500 EPA, 250, so a total of 7. So it's 75% out of that 1,000 milligrams is the active component. So folks, when you're looking at fish oil, you want to look at EPA and DHA, okay? So not really a bad formula if we're looking at some of the other things. So one thing I don't like about it is when you see enteric coating on it, right?
Yeah.
Because the enteric coating is not something that is natural, right? The idea that they'll claim that they use it is so that people don't burp it back up.
That's the claim, but it shouldn't have to be.
Right. The reason people burp it up is 2 reasons. The most common reason is that they are a poor digester of fats.
Yeah, that's one.
Number 2 is that the fish oil has gone rancid.
Right.
Even a good fish oil can go rancid. Now, there's something on the bottom right-hand corner. It says GMP. What does that say? Quality certified?
Mm-hmm.
That's a made-up.
Well, yeah, that's made up because what GMP
it says GMP quality assured.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means nothing.
No.
What GMP is a certification for manufacturing facilities. It has nothing to do with the product itself.
Right.
Now, they're all made in GMP certified labs. So that guarantees you purity and potency. As far as it being from Peru and Morocco, a lot of the fish oil does come from South America. So overall, not that bad of a formula. I'm not a big fan of the enteric coating, and it could be slightly more potent with the EPA and DHA. Joe?
What about the non-soy GMOs? Non-soy GMO.
Oh, I thought it said no soy.
Non-GMO soy is what I'm trying to say.
Tocopherol. Yeah. The tocopherol that they're using in there, the alpha tocopherol.
So, good point.
Mm-hmm.
It does have soy protein in it. I don't like it for that fact alone. So you got 2 toxins in there. You have the soy protein and the enteric coating, right? The last thing you want from a supplement is to have toxicity associated with it.
Right.
So, I thought it said non-GMO and non-soy, but it's non-GMO soy. So there's soy in there. We don't want vitamin E from soy protein. No. You can get it from other sources. No reason why you need to use it. All Nutritional Frontiers fish oil is soy-free.
Cool. Joe, do you see anything?
Other than that, no, that pretty much covers it. The enteric coating is what usually bothers me because that tells me that it might be not as refined as it should be, not as maybe not as many impurities have been taken out of it. So they require the enteric coating to allow people to be able to digest it. So that kind of raises a little bit of a red flag for me. I don't think a good fish oil should have an enteric coating.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to take a look at a product that has quality. This is what? I'm just picking
Well, the
products
other thing
randomly.
on the last product, it didn't specify the type of fish oil structure, right?
Okay.
So fish oil comes in either EE, enteric, essified acid, or triglyceride form.
Right.
So it doesn't say. So when
And which is better, Jamie?
they're both good. We've used both in the past. The TG to me is one step up, and that's why we've gotten to that, the triglyceride form. This has nothing to do with triglycerides that you're being tested for in your blood.
Right.
This is the form of the fatty acid. That's the natural form in fish. So we use the TG form. So when you start looking at ours, number one, ours is soy-free. Number two, we use a TG form. And we have a little bit more EPA and DHA content. So when you look at the amount of the oil, ours is higher concentration. You look at the form, ours is triglyceride, which is better. And then we add in another ingredient in there, vitamin D3 in the soft gel, not so much the liquid. So again, look at amounts, forms, and what else is in there. So the other one has a little bit lower amount. The form is wrong, and they have 2 known toxins in there. So Nutritional Frontiers has the vitamin D, EPA, and DHA at therapeutic levels. And when you look at our liquid, even better.
Yeah, I think that's key, is the therapeutic level that's involved, the amount of testing that goes into it. That's number 2. The purification process, that's all hidden.
And no false label claims and no false emblems on there.
Right.
You know, those types of things with the GMP. That's very misleading to the public.
I mean, that was a made-up little stamp, because even GMP certified, when they certify a facility, they don't put that, you know, that's not their emblem.
No.
And it should be CGMP.
Yeah, little c, big GMP for current good manufacturing.
So that was made up.
Okay, that was good. So that's a risk, right? You go to big box stores, you want to buy good fish oil, and I pick products that across the board a lot of people use. A lot of people use fish oil, multivitamins. We're going to talk about calcium as well. And these are big sellers in the industry because they're recommended by health professionals and even medical doctors.
You didn't give us an easy one that was like terrible, right? But when you start looking through it, it's not as good as it should be.
Right. I mean, now brand, that's becoming really popular. And I'm not trying to down them, but hey, guys, y'all can do better.
And it's probably better than a lot of others that are out there on the retail shelf.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay.
One last thing. Okay, you go and buy that Now brand, and you go up to the clerk and you say, can I get a certificate of analysis for this product? What are they going to say? No, we don't have it.
Well, they'll say, what is that?
What is that?
You're probably talking to a 17-year-old kid who's working 5 hours a week.
Even that, it's not going to help you with the label issue alone. No. There's holes right there. So, all right. So we're going to women's multivitamin, multi-mineral.
We are. We're going to women's multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement. First, I want you guys just to take a quick glance at the label. Can you guys see this okay?
Yes. Yep.
All right.
All right. So the couple of things right away.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. It's a tablet.
One tablet. Yes.
So it's a tablet. That's a problem.
It's a tablet. It's compressed into a little, a hard stone to begin with. And then it's, before we even get down into the other ingredients, I don't know if they'll list the shellac that they put on it.
Well, we do have all these other ingredients we'll talk about. So we're just talking about the label right now.
The amount. Let's look at the amount of the ingredients. First of all, you look at percent of daily value. These are really low, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some are 100, some are 300, some are 2%. These are very, very low dosages. So,
and those are the percent of the ridiculous dumb amounts, the RDA. Yeah.
So you got low amounts, and then I look at the form. Now they do have it says folate 667 micrograms, but 400 micrograms is folic acid. So that's not even labeled properly. It doesn't tell you what type of vitamin K. It doesn't tell you what type of vitamin E, vitamin C. It gives you a little bit of percent on the vitamin A. So zinc, who knows? Is that zinc oxide? Is it zinc bisglycinate? Zinc carnosine? It doesn't tell you. So the dosages are low. They don't give you the form. So if they don't give you the form, we always assume it's the worst form. Right, and when you're putting it in one tablet, they have to use the worst form because it doesn't take up a lot of room. So one, the amounts are low. Two, the forms are terrible. And number three, there's a whole list of other things we don't want in there. So this would be a F. If we're rating these, this would be an F. I would recommend do not take this. Do not. I don't care if you have it, you already paid for it, throw it away. Not very good because it's adding more toxicity than any benefit. And don't ask me why they do that. They do it because they want a cheap vitamin, right?
Sure.
Joe, do you want to go down to the ingredients?
Yeah, I got to see these.
Can you see that? All right. So we got.
Hold on, Phil. Let's get a little drum roll. Number one ingredient,
Calcium carbonate, right?
Otherwise known as
chalk.
Chalk.
Yeah, right next to magnesium oxide. The first two ingredients are the two single worst forms of these minerals.
Yeah, so when you're in like nursery school and you're chewing on chalk, you know, you want to stay away from it at all costs. This is not a good form of those ingredients. So like I was just talking about, you have, I mean, the whole list here.
Oh, potassium
You
chloride.
What about this down here, guys? We're talking about a women's multi.
So, and I did say zinc oxide. There it is right there at the bottom.
What's yellow 6? What is that?
You know, the other thing in here, and I know we're having fun with this, but wasn't there a lot of lawsuits against J&J for talc powder?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's talc right in this. That's a cancer causer. So, known carcinogen. Polyvinyl alcohol. Now, I know you like vinyl, and so do I, but polyvinyl alcohol in a supplement?
I don't want to eat it.
No.
Red 40 is in there, too. Oh, yellow 6 wasn't enough. Red 40. What else?
Soy lecithin, you know, cornstarch. I mean,
good old BHT. I always want to ingest a little bit more of
that.
BHT? Yeah, I got to ingest a little more of that.
I love where they put vitamin B12 as silacobalamin.
Yeah.
Single worst form of B12. So again, this isn't even an F. This is incomplete. This
well, it's a toxin. All right, let's take a look at another one that's quality. Let's look at this one. The MVP of women's supplements. Look at this. Now, so I'm gonna blow this up a little bit.
Good.
Go ahead.
So again, there's three things to look for, folks. The amount of the ingredient, which we have the therapeutic amounts. The form of the ingredient, which we have all the right forms. They're all listed in parentheses. And then what else is in there we don't want, right? So we have the right ingredients and the right forms and the right amounts without anything you don't want. And we even listed, you know, vitamin A is beta carotene, D3 is cholecalciferol, K2 is MK7. We have over 7 trademarked patented research ingredients in this formula. There is no window dressing at all. Somebody came in the other day and go, 4 capsules. I go, you can take 1 up to 4. Don't look at the label and say, oh, I got to take 4. You can take 1. One of these is better than the whole bottle of the last one you showed up, Century.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want 1 a day, okay, you got it. Take 1 a day.
Well, all the other things that are in here too, like this bottom here. Talk about this women's complex. Talk about this superfood blend. This is like bonus material.
Yeah, we did research with OBGYN and naturopath, Dr. Mary Beth Verdialis from the great state of Georgia, graduate of Trinity, and a practicing MD. How many MDs go to naturopathic school? And when I met her, we just kind of clicked right away, and she wanted to do all this research. So we says, look, help us. You know, we got Dr. Tracy, we got Dr. Sari Cohen, we got our team working on this. We want your input into a woman's complete formula. I says, this is from menstruation through menopause. She says, all right, you need the right vitamins and the right minerals, but don't stop there because the other things you have on your pyramid are probiotics. So we're one of the only ones I've seen that actually use a probiotic, but a specific PRT for females called lactospore.
Right.
This is a spore-forming probiotic in therapeutic dosages, and we fortified it with DMG and inositol, right? So that's a woman's wellness complex in here, second to none. And we didn't end there. We did the superfoods blend. So, Joe, I know you're a big superfood guy.
You don't see a superfood blend in a multivitamin. You hardly ever do, because the only other one I saw it in was the Frontier multi.
Yeah, our other one. Yeah.
It's the only other one. So, you know, people come in and they want, you know, they're looking for all of these, you know, they want the Cadillac. They want the one all in one. Well, here it is. All in one. You got superfoods. You got.
And the other thing I want to mention about this, someone, you know, the girl that was in here the other day with her mom, and she looked at the price. She goes, "Oh my God!" I said, "It's a 2-month supply, up to a 4-month supply." I said, "It's less than $1 per day." And when I said that, she says, "Oh, okay." So
I just want to take a look here at these other ingredients, because this is your list of other ingredients, and this is their list of other ingredients.
I mean, that alone should scare the heck out of you.
Oh my God, yeah.
And what are all these patented trademarked ingredients, and why are they important?
Well, the reason we use the patented research trademarked ingredients is they come with a tremendous amount of research for safety and efficacy. So they're safe at these dosages, and they're very effective. So Albion makes these minerals because minerals are unstable. So calcium, magnesium, zinc, vanadil, those are all unstable. You have to stabilize the mineral. And if you stabilize it with a amino acid, like we do, a protein, your body absorbs it like a protein, like food. Even the dog agrees, right? I hear the dog saying yes in the background. And then we use specific ingredients in there we used before, like the quadrifolate, the MK7, the ferrocal. So these are all important because it's just like anything else. You know, you can buy a name brand and know you're getting quality with it, or you can buy a generic and, you know, buyer beware at your own risk. So we don't not cut any corners on this. This was our top launch of last year, and it's continued to do so.
Yeah, I mean the whole concept of it was unique, right? You started with a prenatal or a child, and then a childbearing years, and then it turned into this, you know, complete men's to men's, menstruation to menopause, right? I call it men's to men's, men's to men's,
men's to men's,
men's to men's. But, you know, the other thing is that the guys, don't be afraid of this. You know, this is great for men as well. So it can you can have one multivitamin for the whole family and use the Women's Complete. There's no doubt about it.
So, Tracy, you want to comment quickly on some of the patient results we got, the case studies using the Women's Complete? I know you had the one with anemia and the other one with skin rash.
Yeah, the one that I personally worked with was a young woman who had very bad. It looked like almost just chafing of her hands. They were hot to touch. Ooh. The skin was peeling off. And, you know, she had been through several detoxes with several NDs and different people. And I said, you know what, why don't we just try a different path and try nutritional density? Like, instead of like detox, maybe you're nutrient deficient. So she was remote. So I had her order the Women's Complete, and that's all she started. And, you know, I started her on 4 a day because I thought her body probably needs it. And she sent me a picture. She had a rash all around of her mouth too. Just like very blistery, and within like, I think it was 2 to 4 days, that was completely gone. Her hands were clearing up. So for some people, we have to stop thinking detox, detox, detox all the time, and, you know, maybe put in the nutrients that we just don't have. And then Candace, one of her friends who was pregnant, had very low iron. They couldn't get her iron up. So Candace had messaged me and asked me, you know, what do I think? And I said, well, let's try the Women's Complete. And this is when it just came out. So Candace worked with her friend, and I think it was within a month's time that her iron levels were normalized, and she was feeling great and doing well. So that ferrous shell iron that's in there, you know, on this label, when I noticed, there's a warning down here where it says accidental overdose of iron-containing products is the leading cause of fatal poisoning in children under 6. Keep this product out of children's reach. We also know that they will say to women that are in menopause not to take any iron. And, you know, there's iron in everything. So your body knows how to digest and use and assimilate the right form of iron. It's this fake iron that's in these products that is lethal to our body. Can you just touch on that a little bit? Because I think it's a big thing with women.
Yeah, one more thing before we go any further is A lot of people will say to me, "Oh, wait till the pharmaceutical companies get involved in the vitamin industry." Well, go back to the last slide.
Mm-hmm.
It says marketed by Pfizer. Right? So, folks, the pharmaceutical companies are in the vitamin industry. They're giving it a bad name because they're using really inferior ingredients. And interesting with the Ferrocal.
Well, I bet they use the best ingredients in their vaccines.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure exactly if what Pfizer has as far as vaccines going, but I know for the Ferrocal that we actually had somebody come in yesterday. I was talking about earlier that they're seeing their oncologist, and the iron oxide that they were getting, which is in that Centrum, made them nauseous and constipated.
Sure.
So when they use our Easy Iron, which has the Ferrocal, it did not happen. They felt a lot better. So that's an interesting ingredient because it's iron bisglycinate. So it's two forms of glycine tied in. And what Trax does, a lot of companies, which they have, they'll call them chelated minerals. They take a mineral and an amino acid, they just mix it up, right?
Yeah.
What Trax does is they actually do covalent bonding. So they actually attach the molecules together, completely different than what most competitors are doing out there.
Not only that, I mean, there's a big thing right now with red blood cell count being very low. One of the contributors to that is lack of iron.
Right.
So.
Right. All right. You ready? Here's the next one. Dun, dun, dun.
Uh-oh.
This
looks like one of my favorites.
This is Viactive, right? This is a calcium supplement. It's one of the biggest sellers on the market for women, probably because it has a yummy chocolate taste.
Don't you love when the ingredient list is bigger than the supplement facts?
Right, exactly. So calcium carbonate, corn syrup, sugar, hydrogenated coconut oil, cocoa powder, non-fat dry milk powder, glycerin, corn syrup solids, and less than 2% of cornstarch, soy lecithin, natural and artificial flavors, salt, cholecalciferol, vitamin D. It's less than 2% of vitamin D. Sorry. So here we go, guys. Vitamin D is 12.5 micrograms, 500 IU in one chew. Vitamin K is 40 micrograms. Calcium, 650 milligrams, and sodium, 10 milligrams.
Okay, let's start right there because the dose of calcium is actually good, 650 milligrams. However, the form is terrible. Have we all heard in the last couple of years doctors telling patients not to take calcium because of calcification in their blood, leaving the cardiovascular risk factors? Well, why is that? It's because they're using cal carbonate. Cal carbonate gets calcified in the blood, and your body cannot drive it into the bones, let alone if you had the right amount of D or K. So the whole fact that you have calcium carbonate in here makes this an F-rated product. This is terrible. Do not take this product. I don't care if somebody gave it to you for free. Don't take it unless you want to increase your risk factors for cardiovascular disease. Anyone want that?
No, I mean, I'll take it a step further and say that all of those nutrients on the top are completely canceled out by the hydrogenated oil. The hydrogenated oil is going to destroy any part of any nutrient that could be in this product, as bad as those nutrients are.
Folks, so if you're buying vitamins, buy them from a healthcare professional, hopefully from Nutritional Frontiers or World of Wellness or Wine and Wellness Center. If that's not the case, go to your doctor or chiropractor that carries supplements. And I don't care if your budget's $30 a month, buy something of high quality. Don't think that, we're trying to make more money than the company that's selling these things for $30 or $20. It's just poor quality. And not only that, I'm seeing elevated toxins, right? On the Centrum one and this one, these are what I call toxic vitamins because there's no therapeutic value and there's a tremendous amount of toxicity. At least in now foods, it was like an average level, maybe a C or a D. These other ones are F-rated.
Artificial. The word artificial on the label should never go in your mouth.
Wow. Yeah. So now we're going to take a look here.
Because this takes a shot at our career, right?
Yeah.
We spend.
No. I'm all for you, and I actually shared this with practitioners. I'm going to tell you, this is the biggest dispute you're going to find when you're working with clients. They have their little bag of supplements they bring in, and they want to use those up first because they've spent money. And what I try to explain to them is they're not working because they're inadequate, they don't have enough nutrients, and they're poisoning you. So if you want to continue poisoning yourself, we can't work together. That's how this works. So practitioners spend so much time trying to defend their product line without having the right tools. And the right tools are understanding what's in your product that you're selling. Why do I choose Nutritional Frontiers over this or another product company that has high quality ingredients? And it is a crack because they look at us like we're trying to like get one over on them or sell them a really expensive supplement because we want to make money. So it has a trickle down effect even to the clinician who's selling the product. And that's not the case. So what people have to realize is when you go out and you shop at Amazon or you shop at even the big box stores, the ambassadors that are the leaders in this industry that bring these conditions to companies and say, we need this product, we need that product, because they bet the industry, you're going to lose them eventually if you don't support them. And the people like Jamie who formulates these products, there is so much, there's months behind product formulation, months of researching ingredients, vendors, manufacturers, making sure you have the right amounts, making sure you take the toxicity out. I mean, the process is huge. So I just want people to understand that.
And we take a lot of pride in this. You know, Doc was my business partner for years. Dr. Weiner, I mean, that guy was so focused on the quality of the ingredients because how he got started was he was a chiropractor in the South Side, and he would recommend glucosamine, go to the health food store. And some people would come back with results and some wouldn't. He started doing some more homework on this and went to some seminars, and he was blown away at the difference in the quality. This is going back 30, 40 years. So Doc started with 6 bottles on his shelf to where he built up to hundreds of thousands worth of inventory. And that's why we created Nutritional Frontiers, because we weren't satisfied even with the professional brands because they may have good ingredients, but we bring them together with that comprehensiveness, like the Woman's Complete that you showed.
Yep. So this is the label we just talked about, and this is Super Cal Plus. And I just want you to go through some of the ingredients on here, why you chose them, and some of the differentiating factors. I'll zoom in.
This is the one of the few times we have used a tablet because people wanted the high levels. But if you scroll down to the capsule, that's our flagship product, right? So you have the right ingredients and the right amounts, right? And you have the right combinations and delivery system. So, you know, we want to make sure it was more than just calcium, but we have the hydroxyapatite calcium in here. That is really live bone food. So that matrix includes calcium, but all your other minerals and the exact ratios you'd find in bone. We fortify it with extra magnesium, copper, and boron. We added D3 and K2 because those are all the nutrients your bones need. It's not just so much calcium. That's just one ingredient, right?
Right.
This is really a complete meal for your bones, right? You got the main component, the calcium and magnesium, but you have all the other support nutrients. Joe?
Yeah, you have the 2-to-1 ratio of the calcium to magnesium, which is the ratio you want for the bone building, along with the K2, D3, copper, and boron in here. So you got a complete bone building formula. This was the bone building formula that we relied on before we even thought about making Super K2 Plus, D3, K2, and vitamin A, which assists. It would be a great companion to this. But look at the copper and boron, citrates, no oxides in there. Okay, citrate, very bioavailable form of these minerals. You see magnesium in citrate form a lot. So all the ingredients in here are very
not only that,
bioavailable.
this is one of our first products.
Yeah.
After the Probezyme, this is one of our first custom formulas brought.
Yeah.
So we will probably update that in the next year or so. But even back over 10 years ago, we were using the right ingredients and the right combinations.
Yes. Yeah. So, Joe, can you just touch on the K2 a little bit and why that's so important in a supplement?
Yeah, like Jamie was
calcium.
saying earlier about that big scare with calcium a few years back. Part of it was that, yes, everybody was taking carbonate and it was building up in the blood because the body couldn't absorb it. But the other part of that story was also the K2 deficiency, which came to light only about 8 to 10 years ago, really, in mainstream. And that was Dr. Weston Price, of course, who did that big study and found that, all of these tribes that he investigated had great bones and great teeth. And the key was the amount of K2 in their diet. Now, K2, as opposed to K1, we saw on that other label, it just said K. So,
even the dog doesn't like those poor forms of K. I mean, you got some smart dogs over there.
They like to put their 2 cents in.
They're my audience, along with my chickens. Yeah.
And I think we mentioned earlier in the week, K1 comes from green vegetables, and then the fermentation process, either in the animal's stomach, like a cow, or in us, if we're eating things that are fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, then that turns it into the K2. And K2 is essential in that, triad of nutrients, A, right. K2, and D3 has a purpose. And that purpose is drive that calcium out of the blood and into the bones. K1 doesn't do it, K2 does. So it's essential that it's in a bone building formula.
Absolutely. This is so good, guys. And, these are hot selling products on the market. So we have to make sure, I'm sending the YouTube video of this. I'm sending it to my parents because, my mom and dad, they'll just go to like a big box store and just buy fish oil. They'll buy a multi. And I'm like, hello, I work for a supplement company. I'll send them to you every month, They're like, oh, we don't want to bother you. I'm like, so you just want to poison yourself. That's what you want to do. Okay.
You got the same parents I did. I just went through my dad's closet again.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
all right, here we go.
Bounty. Nature's bounty.
Well, I want to do.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to save the other one for last.
Now I'm getting fired up.
All right. Well, this is a big one because this is highly recommended in long-term care facilities. It's recommended for geriatric population a lot, for kids who don't, have a great diet or can't gain weight. So let's just talk about this product and some of the ingredients. So pick one. You want the Ensure Original, the Plus, the Complete.
Let's start with the original, McCoy.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to review the product details. We're skipping through their website. All right, so here, right up front, here's the marketing. Gluten-free, suitable for lactose intolerant. I don't know what halal means. And kosher. All right, so we have 9 grams of high-quality protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, including antioxidants, 25% of the daily value of B vitamins, and delicious milk chocolate flavor. All right, I'm going to go down and try to find the label. Here it is.
The only thing that might be true is it's chocolate flavor, right? We don't know how delicious it is. So, okay. The first thing we look at is total sugars, 15 grams.
Wow.
Total sugar, 15 grams. First ingredient, maltodextrin. Second ingredient, sugar and milk. So you got 3 types of sugar as the first ingredients. And
well, wait, Joe, don't fall over. Oh my gosh. Vegetable, canola, and corn.
And soy. You got the whole
soy
trifecta.
Protein.
Look, folks.
They should be shot. They're marketing this product to kids. Have you seen the commercial? The one with the little kid? I got 2 big brothers.
They should be shot.
Blah, blah, blah. I got to drink this. It's got all the vitamins.
Hold on. The attorney's calling me right now, Tracy. Yes. He didn't say shot. He did not say shot. I didn't hear shot. Did you hear shot?
I didn't hear shot.
I didn't hear a thing. Phil, cut that out of the video.
Remember, let's go back to the basics. The amount of the ingredients, the form, and what else. So let's look at the amount of ingredients first, okay? 6 grams of fat with no trans fat. Not so bad. I like good fats, okay? Carbohydrates, 33 grams. May or may not be appropriate depending on the amount of protein. You always want the carbs and protein to be similar, right? Depending on the person. You shouldn't have carbs at 33 and protein at 9. They do that because the protein is more expensive. But it's got more sugar in it than it does fat or protein.
And
that's
the
an
fiber.
issue.
Yeah.
What fiber?
Yeah.
0.0 fiber.
Oh.
Right? And I love how they drop folic acid 60 micrograms. Like that really matters. So the amounts are terrible of the macronutrients. Let's go to the vitamins. Very, very low dosages of these. The minerals are low dose. They don't even tell you actually the amount. They just tell you the percentage.
And that's the percentage of RDA.
What's RDA stand for?
Ridiculous dumb amounts.
You sound like Mikey G.
Ridiculous.
We have flared the inner anger of Joe.
Well, the problem is
The inner Ric Flair is coming out.
Long-term care facilities,
Yeah.
hospitals,
And kids.
diabetics. This is what they're telling them to drink, right?
Mhm.
This is not what you want to use. So let's go back up. So the amounts are terrible. The forms are terrible. And then what else is in there? Even worse. This is F-rated. This is terrible. Milk and soy, Xflame potassium, probably the worst artificial sweetener. We got all types of sucralose, red 3, artificial flavors, soy less. I mean, there's just too much. It's just too much. So, folks, don't drink this. Do not drink this. I don't care because I know what's coming next. They give it to me for free, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, good. You
Free.
should ask for your money back, right?
Yeah, if they gave you free arsenic, would you take it because it's free? I mean,
Well, what
let's just be
flavor is
real.
it? Delicious
Yeah, right.
chocolate
Yeah.
flavor?
Yeah.
All
So
right,
this is-
let's go
this is-
to
F-rated.
F-rated, but it's gluten free, Jamie. Gluten free.
Yep, it's nutrient free too. They should put that on the cover. Look, folks, remember, go back to the amount of the ingredients, the form, and what else is in there. So take our Super Shake, okay?
Now I chose Super Shake because it was a whole meal, just like Ensure is a whole meal.
Sure.
So
Wink, wink. Yeah.
wink, wink, hint. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so the first thing you look at is the amount of the ingredients, right? They had 220 or 40 calories. We have 140. So we have total fat, 2 to 3 grams, depending on the flavor. And that's all from MCT oil, right? We look at the carbs, low carbs. Why? Because people don't need extra carbs and sugar unless you're burning up a tremendous amount of energy. So we want low to moderate carbs, 5 grams of carbs, 3 of which are fiber, 0.0 sugars, and no sugar alcohols. Protein at 20 grams, that's how much you need. So just based on the ingredient profile alone, we have 0 sugar, low carbs, high fiber, moderate protein, and good dietary fats. So that alone, it's not even close. We blow theirs away. You look at the amino acid profile, which we list. Did you see the amino acid profile in the last one?
No, I don't think they know what an amino acid profile is.
Nor do they want to.
Well, why is that important, especially for kids or elderly?
If you look at a protein, think of protein like the alphabet, right? A to Z. You say, you know your alphabet? That's A to Z. That's what protein is. The amino acids are all the letters that make up the alphabet. So you need all the letters of the alphabet. You need all the amino acids put together to make a complete amino acid so that your body uses protein for recovery. Muscle, brain, organs, tissue, nerves, skin, everything. And the amino acids are really the key. That's where all the action is. Just like there's certain letters that are really important. You probably use those a lot more in your language. Certain amino acids are really important, like arginine, right? Glutamine, isoleucine and leucine. Those are the branch chains. So you need these amino acids in the right ratios. And even though it's a vegan protein, we use a combination of pea, pumpkin, and rice to make that more of a complete protein. And you get the maximum benefit there, even from a vegetarian source, which isn't always a complete protein.
Well, that's exactly true. What you need is to mimic food as best as possible. And that's why there are multiple sources of vegetable protein in here. A single vegetable protein will not give you the complete amino acid profile. It will not suitably mimic the food that you're trying to replace or add to with this shake.
Yeah, and the only other ingredients we put in here are the fiber, the protein, the natural flavorings. Now, look, I know people, natural flavorings can mean artificial. They can also mean natural. We do this by choice. It's not like we don't know. I mean, God, it'll be 30 years in December I've been doing this. We go by choice. Now, a friend of mine's company, he uses artificial flavors. You know why? He says, I don't care. He says, your market's different. He doesn't. Some athletes don't care. So he says, your market's different. You can't use artificial flavors. I says, right.
You can equate this really well to the weight loss industry because they're They're big.
They don't care either.
Artificial everything. Because why? Because their clients don't care. They just
That's
want to
right.
lose weight. Yeah.
It comes back in a different way. So this is vegan. It's hypoallergenic, and it also has lots of protein, which we need. So, okay. So this is our pick. All right.
Plus, we have
Now,
all the different flavors, so we don't suffer from one of the most debilitating illnesses out there, flavor fatigue.
Flavor fatigue.
You like that one?
The architect. Yes.
and you have
That was one I've
naked.
been an
You have
architect.
naked for Joe.
Wow, I thought she said get naked. I was just, it's like,
It's getting hot in here, isn't it?
it's getting hot in here.
All right. Okay, the last one. Now, in all fairness,
Well,
isn't
no,
it
serious. What is naked? We know what naked is, but what is naked shake?
just there's nothing
No
in it.
flavor.
There's no flavoring.
No
There's no
flavoring.
stevia.
Right.
There's nothing in it that people might say, well, because some people will say, like, I don't want stevia. And
Yeah,
all right, that's
fine.
okay. So we have naked. You can flavor it up as you want. You can add
Yes.
honey to it, maple syrup. You can do whatever you want to make it the shake that you want. You can dress it in whatever you want it to. Right?
It's also
All right.
a really good choice for baking and making things
Yeah.
like pancakes and brown and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, one of the great things about the Super Shake is I make Candace cakes. Those are
Candace cakes.
whole food.
Candace
They're
cakes.
great. You ever crave pancakes sometimes? Especially
Yeah.
if it's a little cool in the morning on a Sunday. I make this with 2 scoops of protein. I use 2 organic eggs, 1 cup of coconut milk, and voila.
There
You
it
got
is.
incredible
Voila.
pancakes, and I take care of that little craving I get. So, folks, you can have fun with this too.
That's right. Add some maple syrup to that, and you're getting even more iron and more vitamins and more minerals, right? So, all right, last one. In all fairness, this is not a nutraceutical product comparison, but this is a really big thing in our
Grand
industry.
finale. Hold on. CBD.
All right, over-the-counter NSAIDs.
Oh.
But I want to compare it to something that they could do instead. And one of the things that I clicked on was potential health effects. Now, I chose Advil, but there's a whole gamut of these, ibuprofens, of aspirin. And so can you just start with the dangers?
So, hold on, Joe. Settle down. He's going to knock the table over here.
All right, Joe, you start with the dangers. Why is it so dangerous, number one, just to have an NSAID in your apothecary, but 2, the over-the-counter, unprescribed, unmanaged, and unmonitored? Go.
These all started out as drugs. They started out as prescription drugs. Every over-the-counter drug, they all started as prescription, right? Every single one of them. So they were monitored, and they were monitored by a doctor, and he, as best as he could, told you how much to take. Once they became over-the-counter, they became like candy. People would take them for every single little ache and pain, every headache, every injury, you name it. Take an Advil, take an ibuprofen. It started out with aspirin, taking that, then you had specifics, Excedrin PM. Yeah, oh, come on. So they're all the same, but they're all doing damage, especially to your liver. Unauthorized, uncontrolled use of these NSAIDs are destroying the organs in your body. Your liver is at the top of the list. Why? It can't recognize it. It can't process it. A little bit, yeah, your liver's an amazing organ. It can handle a little bit here and there. If they were used the way they were supposed to be, Jamie, for within 48 hours
that's the whole issue with
right?
Well, hang on. I want to ask a question to you guys and for the people streaming with us to put it in the chat box. How many people, either watching with us or you two, or even Fabo Phil, have ever visited the safety section of the Advil website or read the safety directions inside the insert? I really want to know, because I've never done that. Well, yeah, you have, because you're always comparing. But to be honest, how many people are like, let me open this Advil box and read the safety instructions? Like, it doesn't happen. But if you look here, right here, it says combining medications, pre-existing health conditions, right?
Yep.
Pregnancy. How many people just buy this stuff and start taking it without any concern of what prescription meds they're on, any concern of pre-existing health conditions? But if I give them a calm day, they're going to be like, is this safe with my blood pressure medicine? Like, I'm sure you just took an Advil. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just it's an oxymoron when it comes to this industry of what people question as safe and what they actually just take without even any
It all comes
concern for
down
their
to
safety.
marketing. It comes down to marketing. It's in the local store. It's in the Walgreens. It's in the CVS. Safe. Let me just go buy it. My kid can buy it. Anybody can buy them. They're safe. That's why they're in the store.
Yeah, one thing, if you read the box, right, on Tylenol, ibuprofen, it says right on there, right?
Yeah.
Do not take if you have 3 alcoholic drinks, right? And many people use this for hangover helper.
That's right.
The big issue is, I did a lot of homework on this. The big issue is that the people that consume NSAIDs are heavy consumers and chronic users. These are really miracle over-the-counter drugs. They're designed to use for 24 to 48 hours, and that's it.
That's it. Right.
So if you have a really bad injury, you sprain, you get hurt, your back hurts, you're supposed to take them for one night. That's it. But that's not the case. People take them chronically. Because after about 72 hours, you start to break down the GI tissue. So the concern for me is GI, kidneys, liver, and they double your risk of heart attacks. And here's why. Because they are called COX-2 enzyme inhibitors.
That's right.
Well, COX-2 enzymes in some tissue, like the joints, create pain and inflammation. Did you guys know in some tissue, like the gut, it's a repair mechanism? Right? So if you're shutting down the repair mechanism in the gut, that's why you're at high risk for GI bleeding. It's very toxic to the liver and the kidneys, so that's why you'll have issues with that. They said the athletes, their biggest concern for professional athletes are over-the-counter anti-inflammatories. How many Sean Elliott, Alonzo Mourning, especially the African-American community at higher risk, how many times have we seen athletes getting kidney replacements, right? And this is why, because of the overconsumption of over-the-counter anti-inflammatory drugs. So what did the pharmaceutical industry do? They came out what they call selective COX-2 inhibitors. That was supposed to be safer, right? So the big two on those were...
Advil was one.
No, the prescription ones.
Celebrex?
Yeah, and Vioxx.
And
right?
Vioxx.
So those
Celebrex
two,
and Vioxx.
yeah. So when you looked at the initial data, the first 3 to 6 months, they were safer. They didn't show you the rest of the data.
Yeah, that's right.
That came out later. What did they show? They were just as toxic, but not even that, more toxic
They were deadly
than the over-the-counters. And in fact, they pulled one off the market, right?
Yeah.
So, folks, Dr. Weiner, all of his statements ring in my head. The biggest one about pharmaceuticals was that he always said, do not take a pharmaceutical that has not been on the market for at least 7 years, because if you do, the research is being done on you.
Yeah.
Just like our most recent research project.
Yes.
So let's go through this right here, because I want to just pre-existing health conditions. I have a heart condition. Should I take Advil? Can I take Advil before or after surgery? But Jamie, how many questions do you get? Is this product gluten-free? Because I have a gluten intolerance.
Yeah, one
But
question.
right here,
of
I'm allergic to
parts.
gluten. Can I take Advil? Gluten-free people,
Can't guarantee.
Advil can't guarantee, but I don't see you guys calling up the office. So I just want people to realize that the difference, because of marketing and because nutraceuticals have been so mystified and downgraded by these people that have all the money and all the marketing, that the questions that we are subject to from the nutraceutical standpoint, they are not. The standards are so different, and it's sad, because this can kill you. Whereas you take Xflame, I'm not sure that's going to happen. So
there's over 100,000 hospitalizations a year from properly taken over-the-counter anti-inflammatories, and over 20,000 deaths per year from these medications. Just
And
because it's over-the-counter
by
doesn't mean it's
themselves.
safe.
that's
You know,
right.
cigarettes and alcohol over-the-counter, and they all have severe side effects if done improperly. So actually, it's interesting you bring up the Xflame, because there's an ingredient in Xflame called creselazine that has research published in the Journal of Nutritional Association, JANA, not JAMA, and their studies on creselazine were actually head-to-head against NSAIDs.
Right. Yep.
And the conclusion was they performed just as well, if not better, without any side effects at all. So we took that data and research from our friends at All American Pharmaceutical, and we applied it with the creselazine in the original pain release clinic in the South Side. Remember those orange boxes
Sure
that came in?
Yeah.
We had 288 people we put on that. And we got, just in 2 capsules, which is 1,500 milligrams, we had over 80% success on joint pain. So we did is we took that data, and then we added in some of the more common things we've been using over the years, some of the herbs like turmeric and boswellia, DMG, and some of the anti-inflammatories and anti-allergies, things like quercetin and rutin, ginger, those types of things. So this is another example of getting the synergy of all the ingredients that we've researched and then offering you a solution without the side effects.
I like it because it has multiple mechanisms of action, all going towards the same end result. The creselazine, of course, is the key ingredient here, an amazing nutrient, and you don't see it anywhere else. You see turmeric, you see boswellia, you see quercetin, you see cayenne. You don't see creselazine. The only place I see it, it's right here in Xflame. It's a great nutrient. This has been around now for years, and the testimonials we have are just through the roof. Yeah. Safe to take, easy to take, capsule or powder. And the only side effects are positive ones.
That's right. So what do you guys think of what's on that label?
I think this was great. And I don't know if she's asking us or the audience, but
everybody.
I'll wait for the showcase showdown, Joe.
Yeah, right.
There's no showcase showdown. I just wanted to make sure. Well, that was a lot of Oh, listen, Spicoli, the next time I'll make sure that we have it. But I mean, I think that the last one of just comparing the NSAIDs of how dangerous that can be, that, you know, the gastrointestinal damage from those. And when you said people heavily abuse them, I mean, I always joke around about that guy that I dated way back in the day and the nickname that I gave to him because he sweat so much because he would take handfuls of ibuprofen. He literally was destroying his liver. And I mean, he just could not regulate his temperature. His blood pressure was through the roof. And, you know, it was like getting him off of those things was really hard because he was so addicted. It was like he couldn't create his own endorphins anymore. So it is an addictive pathway. It's dangerous. And there's things out there just so people know that there's alternatives that actually work. So
you know how I always rag on Larry, the cable guy, for pushing Prilosec.
Well, Eddie.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We don't need Larry, the cable guy, because we have the label guy.
That's right. Jamie, the label guy.
He's the label guy. Nobody knows labels like this guy.
Well, you know, I've always worked for, you know, I work for Metagenics, a big company. I work for a couple startups. And when you're a startup in a younger company, you're held to a different standard.
Oh, yeah.
You know, no knock on Metagenics, but they put Albion Minerals on the map. And when they were purchased, they stopped using Albion Minerals, right? So people give them an out on that, but we use Albion Minerals. Why? Because they're better. So we're using the best ingredients for a young company. That's one of the things I'm most proud of is that we are using great formulas and we're getting great results. And it helps us with a mission of making the world healthy. And that's what this is all about, folks. So come on down today. Give us a call. We'll be here all day and all day tomorrow, right?
Sure will. 412-922-9355. Better yet, come on in and see us.
And one last point, you know, the staff took a poll. They all want to come in on Sunday. So
no, do they?
I think that was headed by Philly Phil. So we may be open Sunday.
That's because the rumor they had heard
in your mind. That's why I work remote, Joe. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for playing along today, and I hope this benefited people. Please share this with somebody. I know I'm taking the YouTube video, and it's going right to my dad's email. So here it comes, Dad. Pay attention. So thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow bright and early. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we will be back at 8:30. All right.
Have a great day.
God bless.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Stay tuned to coming tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. morning commentary with Jamie and Joe, and we'll see you then.